I didn't realize Assad was like the number 2 personal producer in the history of the dadgum company, folks. That's unbelievable. That means he absolutely knows exactly what he's doing. But more than that, he's got more than 110 RVPs. He's been making $1 million a year since 2016. He's one of the first guys inducted into the Circle of Champions for the last 4 years. And folks, that is a huge deal. You can see that ring on his finger. That is a huge, huge deal. It says he's built a business that's going to last a lifetime for him, his family, and his children. And Allie was telling me that he's got his kids in business with him now, too, which means it's a legacy, a lifetime business. Assad, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming and doing this for us. The devotional you did this morning was just absolutely touched me. I thought that was absolutely incredible. Can't thank you enough for doing that. I'm going to turn it over to the great Assad Faraj.
Thank you so much, Michael. I remember when we first met together, it was like probably 25 years ago in a working group in Atlanta, and nobody knew who I was. Everybody knew who you were, and thank you for being gracious and kind and making me feel like a friend. I really appreciate that. And to all the RVPs on this Zoom, I just want to say I honor you. The difference you are making in the lives of people, the difference you're making on this planet, the difference you're making in the kingdom of heaven cannot be measured. I just heard that about 30-some people gave their hearts to Jesus this morning, and that's absolutely cause for celebration. The Bible says every time one sinner repents, angels rejoice. There's a massive party and celebration going on in heaven because of the meeting we're having this morning. That's so exciting. I can't stand it. And just want to say, first and foremost, I want to give you hope. So I'm not going to take a long time, my story, but just this is to give you hope. Some of you look at this thing and think, I don't know if I can do what these people are doing. And so listen to me for a second. There's a saying in Primerica, there's only one number one, and that's me. The number one most least likely to succeed, the number one most shy, quiet, introverted person in the history of this great company. True story. When I was growing up, I was the kind of kid that when people came to visit our home, I would be terrified. I would run and hide under my parents' bed. You know why I would hide? Because I was afraid they would say hello to me. And if someone says hello, it's not really hard to remember the response. It's exactly the same word they just said to you. All you got to do is remember to say hello back. But the thought of it terrified me, so I went and hid. True story. Going to the drive-thru at McDonald's with my friends in high school. Okay? You know how it works, right? You turn the corner, there's the menu thing, and then there's a metal microphone thing. I was the kid, terrified, beyond terrified, to speak out the window into the metal microphone thing to place my order. I would whisper my order in my buddy's ear and have him speak it for me. I was too afraid to do it. I remember public speaking for the first time. True story. I remember in 6th grade, I was asked to read a book and get up in front of the classroom and share what I learned in the book. So I read the book, and I remember the day of reckoning had come. It was time to go to school and present to the kids what I learned in that book. And I tried sales for the very first time in the 6th grade. I tried to sell my mom the fact that I was too sick to go to school. Let's just say I blew my first sale. She sent me to school anyway. And I remember, true story, I remember being in the classroom. It was just after lunch. And the teacher calls my name. I walk to the front of the classroom. I turn around to face the kids to tell this, what I learned in the book. And I remember turning around and stopping to look at them. And my legs stopped turning, but the room never did. It kept on spinning like faster and faster. And then the whole, existence of science paused, and the whole room shifted on its axis and spun even faster. I remember getting dizzy and kind of freaking out and running sideways outside the room. I made it as far as the doorway, and then I vomited my lunch. And I don't know why I did this, but I caught my lunch in my hands. And so my first ever public speaking experience, the only thing that came out of me was the syllables you make before you vomit and puke your guts out. So it's the first time you ever spoke publicly. If you had got anything more out of you, if you got one word, you're way more of a natural than I ever was. And it truly is meant to give you hope. I was super shy, super quiet, super introverted, but I joined this company, honestly, because of love of family. My parents had a business that just collapsed, and I joined this company just to make some extra money, try to help them build their house out of foreclosure. And I remember being super uncomfortable with every single aspect. I remember My first time ever going on a plane by myself, I said to my trainer, what do I say? I had one of those little mini recorder things. I record it, and then I'm driving there with one hand, hitting rewind and play to hear the recording over and over again. I heard it nonstop the entire drive there. I remember getting there, and I forgot every single one on that recording. I just froze in front of the people. I didn't know what the heck to say. That was 32 years ago, but guess what? Every one of us can do this. And here's the proof you can do it. And that is you learn how to do, everyone on the Zoom, I learned to me one of the most difficult things possible to learn. Okay, to me, one of the most difficult things you can possibly learn is learning how to tie your shoes. Just kind of follow me for a second. Okay, the first time someone said, here's how you tie shoes. Remember that when you were a kid? They moved their fingers on these two strings, moved their fingers away. You couldn't see what was going on, and somehow there was two perfect rabbit ear bows, whatever, and it looked good. Then you try to do it, and it was just a big old knot. And now, guess what? I can barge into your bedroom at 3 o'clock in the morning at pitch dark, wake you out of a deep sleep, put a pair of shoes on your feet, and say, tie them in the dark. Okay, from a deep sleep, groggy, and in the total dark, you can tie your shoes. Ain't that something? So if you can do that, trust me, that is way harder learning how to do this. This is simply a monkey see, monkey do. Just do it with your trainer. You'll find out they say it's exactly the same things every time. Then you'll feel confident you can do it too. It happens. It's happened to 150,000 people. Our company has 150,000 people. And more good news is that 90% of us have zero background in finance, zero background in sales. Just good-hearted people that love God, that want to be a blessing to other people and help them out in the area they know they struggle with, and help out their own family at the same time. And that's good news for you. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go over a training with you guys today. I hope and pray helps you guys, and it's about what I just introduced. And I call this the Primerica Language for Success. Okay, so let's get started. One thing I mentioned this morning, which is absolutely true, is a caterpillar lives inside of the world that came out of its lips. Okay, as you're working your business, be very careful what you speak. Every one of us know people that if we walk up to them and say, hello, how are you? Dear God knows if there's any way you could take those words back, you would. You know why? Because you just said, hello, how are you? And guess what comes out of them? They start to speak everything wrong with this world, everything wrong with this country, everything wrong with their neighborhood, everything wrong with their family, everything wrong with their physical health, everything wrong with their mental state. And by the time they're done, you just want to, wad yourself into a ball and throw yourself away. You feel horrible, okay? So every one of us live inside the world that come out of our lips. We got to be very careful. So check this out for a second. The words you speak is your language, and your language becomes your life. French is a language. Spanish is a language. Poverty is a language. You know what's sad is you can meet someone and then just say, hi, nice to meet you. How are you? And within 5 minutes, you can pretty much tell if they are financially impoverished and struggle their whole life, or if they understand the universal principles of success and achieve success in life. You can tell that in a couple minutes. Failure is a language. Mediocrity is a language. Gratitude is a language. I shared that today, that 60 times in the Word of God, it teaches us to be grateful, and gratitude unlocks the miraculous in your life. Success is a language, and guess what? The ultimate victory is what I call to live to give. Generosity is a language. Nobody has ever in the history of the planet been more generous than God himself when he gave his one and only begotten son. That was the most generous act ever. I would never, ever let one of my children die for the sins of strangers I did not know. But that's what he did. He could have stopped it in a second. He could have done it any other way, but he chose to do it the right way. And you can't, the best thing, some of you have a heart to just help the poor, and I think that's fantastic. You have the right kind of heart. But the best thing you can ever be for the poor is to not be one of them. You can't give what you don't have. So generosity is a language. So my question for you this morning is, do you have what I call a USP? Okay, you need to have what's called a unique sales proposition for everything in life. So I want you to understand the importance of a USP. Here, we don't sell tomatoes. We don't sell socks. We don't sell blank sheets of paper. We ask people to give us two things very valuable to them. One is trust in their financial program. Let's be honest, people work their whole life. And finances represents their security. And we ask them to trust us by turning it all over to us. That's quite the ask, okay? The other thing we ask them to give us is their time. Their time is their most valuable asset. Come work with us. Give us your time. We don't ask for things small. We ask for things big. And when you ask for things big, you better have what's called a USP, a unique sales proposition, something that nobody else can say. The pitch I want you to have is this. Here's the world's worst marriage proposal, okay? A guy is single, and he wants to get married. He goes to the food court in the mall, goes to the table with five girls sitting there, and they don't have wedding rings on, so he assumes they're single. So he walks up to the table of the five girls, and he says these words. I'm a guy, and I'm single. I see you ladies are single, too. I don't see any wedding rings. Anybody interested in getting married? Okay, the worst marriage proposal of all time. Okay, here's what a marriage proposal is supposed to be. There's 8 billion people on this planet, 4 billion men and 4 billion women. Okay, let me explain why you're better off spending the rest of your life with me instead of the other 4 billion. That's what a marriage proposal is supposed to be. Why me and why you and why us together? What's unique about us? So I've taught my team for 30 years. We all need to walk around with an imaginary electronic dog collar around our neck that sends us a shock every time we speak words that other people can say. Okay, let me give you an example. If someone asks you this question, what's the name of the company you work for? Don't you dare say Primerica. Don't you dare say Primerica. You know why? Because there's thousands of companies in the United States, and there's millions of people that work for them, and anybody can say the name of a company. If you got it, flaunt it. And baby, we've got it. We got to flaunt it. So if someone says, what's the name of the company you're with? Here's your answer. I'm with Primerica, and I'm not sure if you heard, but there was a massive study done, and they ranked us the most, by Investors Business Daily, the most trusted life insurance company in America, and number 3 most trusted overall out of thousands. And we're the only company in America that 50,000 families a month are shifting their finance over to, and we spend zero in advertising, and our competitors spend millions. And we're the only company in America that can help people with their debts, insurances, savings, income, legal protection, everything, a true one-stop shop. And by the way, we're expanding, and we have documented more people making $100,000 a year, $250,000, $500,000 than any company in the United States. And we offer full ownership, and you can attract the best people out there and offer them ownership too. Does that sound a little bit better than Primerica? You understand? If you got it, flaunt it. If you're struggling in this business, it's because you're speaking a whole bunch of words that I call vanilla ice cream words. Words that anybody can say. Okay? We didn't work this hard and go through what we went through and watch the hand of God that birthed this company, that's protected this company, that's blessed this company, that's helped this company to thrive, just to go on and say any words anybody else can say. And by the way, think about the Bible for a second. And God, if you notice the way he described himself, who do I say sent me, Moses said. And God said, I am. Okay? And guess who else can say I am? Nobody, without doing what's called blasphemy. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one enters my Father's kingdom unless through me. He spoke uniquenesses. No, not Buddha can say that. Not Muhammad can say that. Not the 100, 300 million Hindu gods can say that. Only one can say that. Okay? You got to speak uniquenesses. It's taught throughout the scriptures, and it's a big reason why you struggle or have success is that you speak in stuff other people can say. All right? Now, by the way, this is as much for you as this for the people you meet. Okay? So this is a line I like to live by. Everything good or bad that's ever happened in the history of this world happens after the words, I said to myself. Every time of war and every time of peace. Every relationship that said, we're not getting divorced, we're going to sit this thing through, we're going to love God and love each other because that's his plan for us. And everybody that went through a divorce. Okay? Every single person that struggled and never made it in business or had success, and every person that pushed and then quit, and every person that pushed through and said, I refuse to quit, I'm planting my flag here, and me and God can do this thing. Everything good or bad that's ever happened in the history of the planet happens after the words, I said to myself. Be super careful what you say to yourself. Okay, we are never, ever defeated until we're discouraged on the inside. Understand that ships don't sink because of the water around them. They sink because water gets in them. Okay? Be very, very, very careful what you allow to get inside of you. The only thing that should be inside of you is the Word of God, the Holy Spirit, as he operates through you. And when he's on your side, look out. Things are going to happen. So I'm going to give you, for the rest of the training, feel free to get your phones out, take snapshots of this if you like. I'm going to give you some words just to kind of help you out. And, God bless Primerica, they mean well. But I don't really care for how they describe us in their brochures. You know what I mean? Like, here's what the Primerica brochures say we are. We're Primerica. We're on the New York Stock Exchange. Our ticker symbol is PRI, and we were started in 1977. It sounds good. It's all true. It doesn't move me, okay? So if you got it, flaunt it. We can do better than that. So when you're bringing on people, the first thing you got to talk about is the industry, okay? So why this industry? There's a bunch of industries you get into. Well, here's why. There's more money in money than anything else. Welcome to the most residual rich industry in the world, okay? And by the way, there's two things people look for in their working life. One is to make money, and the second is to make a difference. Okay, so when it comes to making a difference, why this industry? The number one cause of stress in marriage, go ask any pastor, the number one cause of marital distress and divorce is fighting about money and finances. The American Medical Association did a study. You know what they figured out? The number one cause of migraines, ulcers, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, even suicides, the number one cause is stress. And the number one cause of stress is money stress. We have to heal and minister people in the area of their second biggest hurt. I mean, the biggest hurt people have is they need Jesus. But the second biggest hurt they have is financial pressure. I've been blessed to travel the world and preach about Jesus. I preached all over India and Thailand and Central and South America and Dominican and Haiti. And I've experienced how Satan attacks different nations with different strategies. He attacks folks different in India than Haiti, than Peru, than the U.S. In the U.S., his number one strategy to wreck people is financial pressure. It destroys and debilitates people, and we get to help people in that area. Okay, next is Primerica. Okay, again, what do the brochures say? We're Primerica. We're in the New York Stock Exchange, and we were started in 1977. That doesn't capture anybody's heart. Here's how I describe Primerica. we're different. Okay, we were started by 7 Christian high school teachers and coaches from Columbus, Georgia, 47 years ago, that were angry, mad, furious at the industry for not doing what's right for people. Okay, Investors Business Daily ranked us the number one most trusted company. We're the only company. Again, take screenshots of this. The only company able to help people with total financial health. So here's my theory. Nobody in America, not one person, wants insurance. Nobody wants investments. Nobody wants a mortgage. Nobody wants a will. People want one thing and one thing only. It's the same thing we want for our physical bodies. Next, never forget what's called the sandwich principle. We're coaches here. We coach clients to have financial success. And they're going to say some things that are illogical and not what's in their best interest. And you don't just call them out on it. We're going to be coaching recruits on how to have success. So the way you coach people is called bread, meat, bread. Okay, don't just say, nope, that was stupid what you just said and you're wrong. Don't ever do that. Say, look, I know your heart is to do what's best for your family. And I know you have hesitations about what I'm sharing with you, but I want you to trust me. I've done this for a while. Our company has a lot of success, and I know this is the best path for you. And then if you take this path, I know you're going to be very successful for you and your family. And so always remember, it's not just answering it, it's surrounding it with encouragement, okay? We don't recruit people here. We rescue people. Okay, I don't like the word recruit, I like the word rescue. There's a stigma when it comes to recruiting people, but there was a movie about, with Ashton Kutcher or whatever, about saving people in the Bering Sea, diving into those cold, crazy waters, and it was about how many rescues they got. So we rescue people from a life of 100% off of one. We rescue people from a dead-end future. We rescue people to a life of 1% off 100. We rescue people to a legacy-creating, world-changing life. And never forget, never harp on past mistakes when you're coaching people. Hope for a better future is what makes living tolerable. Don't talk about the past. Keep talking about the future, because hope for a better future is what makes living tolerable. If you keep you and your clients and your teammates focused on the future, the way God made us, you can't visualize. If I said to you, visualize your life 5 years down the road, not one person visualized themselves in a hospital bed dying of cancer or in a jail cell on death row. Not one person. Everybody visualizes their lives better in the future. God made us that way on purpose. Hope for a better future is what makes living tolerable. So always have a focus on the future, and it'll help you be encouraged. Thank you for the time. I'll turn it back over to you, Michael.